Hello, hope you guys are well. So we're with the deadline stream here for Game Week 6. It is going to be a little bit different compared to usual deadlines because I'm on a wild card and I do take it very seriously. So I'll probably be waiting for some sort of Man City leaks. And that will mean that a couple spots will change in my team. Like I think the locks in my team right now are Gabriel, Dunk, obviously not Raya, maybe Valdemarson, Saka, Rogers, and Bumo. So technically, Rogers can go, Trent can go. I mean, even Dunk can go, arguably, and Calvert-Lewin can go. But I have probably around 5-6 drafts in my mind, and we'll wait for some leaks, and I'll go to my favorite draft. And yeah, in the meantime, before we actually get potential leaks, let's just quickly have a look at some comments. So first of all, thank you, Henry, for being a member for 30 months. Really appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Thanks, Fran, for all the questions answered this week on the wild card. Thank you, Luca. Unfortunately, I've missed out on quite a few questions. Beardy J says he thinks he's pretty happy with his decisions. We'll see how different they are from yours. Yep, that'll be interesting. Victor says he's finding it hard to think straight this close to deadline. I think that you don't need to ever settle a wildcard team, right? Because you need to think about it like every night your team is actually changing because you have information on Thursday and Friday. You have price rises and you have price falls. So for example, I got a Jackson price rise last night, but that doesn't really impact my Havertz draft. That only impacts a potential Solanke or Calvert-Lewin draft, if that makes sense in your mind. So there's a lot of things that I have to think about in terms of pricing that I might have missed. Every night I get a price rise or a double rise. And then, of course, as I said, I'm planning for situations where Lewis is benched. I'm planning for situations where Savio starts. And then obviously planning for some situations where Lewis and Savio are benched. Am I considering Foden? I don't think so. I'm not very stressed, if I'm being honest. Nina, hope you're doing well. You're on vacation. You're on GF's YouTube, still watching you. Thank you so much, Nina. To all the members, advert time, Dream Brother. I'll put an advert after a bit, but I don't think I even choose to put ads, actually. But yeah. First of all, Human97, thank you so much for joining as a member of the channel. Really appreciate it. 744 of you guys here. Really, 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 truly appreciate it. So yeah. Am I sure Raya will start? I don't know. Apparently, someone said that on Let's Talk FPL stream that Raya was actually seen in the hotel. So that yesterday's news about Raya being seen in the hotel might have been false. But yeah. I've also changed my mind on Haaland captaincy. So I think I will go for Haaland as a captain. And that's because obviously just look, that Newcastle team sounds like it's pretty poor. I think the leak today that we got is that Isak might be benched. I know you're the boyfriend. But should I start Aina versus Fulham? I'd probably go Lewis, but then if you got the leak, just because of how weak Newcastle looks. Dedicated to the content, thank you guys. I am definitely considering Savio, that's 100%. I don't really think I'll plan on keeping Rico if he's benched, unless Savio is also benched. I will take the chance to go Savio. J-Wave, hope you're doing well. Wolverine, nice to see you around. Fahad, nice to see you around. BL, you think Salah's going to punish? I think Liverpool will punish me, but I'm okay with that, right? The Wolves injuries, the sicknesses, that's always going to have a huge impact on a week, but I chose to wildcard before the information, and that's okay. I think if I look at my team for Game Week 6, I didn't have a very strong team anyways, so I'm not really worried about the fact that you know, I've decided to wildcard when Liverpool have an even better fixture on paper. Let's just put it that way. Fran's still sleeping. Yeah, I was a bit late, wasn't I? Unfortunately, I was switching between stream clients. Chisel Planet says, hoping Wolves versus Liverpool gets postponed. Okay. We'll see. Can you change your team around whilst your wildcard is active? Absolutely, you can. Bench Semenyo, Rogers, or Wood. I'd bench Rogers. Fran, why was I late? I have been drafting. Honestly, I've just been drafting. The whole morning, I think I woke up at 8 o'clock and I've been playing around with draws for the last 2 hours. Charlie, thank you for the super chat. Captain Haaland or Salah? I think I would honestly tempt Salah because of the Wolves injuries. And then as far as start Pau or Rico, I'd go Rico if there's a leak, but otherwise I'd start Pau. Why does no one else have Cells? I think Cells is a perfectly fine pick, to be honest. It's okay, we forgive you. Thank you, Andreas. Fran, none of the price rises were reflected on my team before I wildcarded. Why is that? Well, what do you mean, though? You can only really reflect price rises on your team if you gain 2 price rises, right? Because you only pocket the 0.1 per 0.2 price rises. So, for example, with Luis Diaz, I've already gotten the 0.1 back. With Jackson, I've definitely gotten the 0.1 back. I don't think Raya will start. I'll just take Raya out because a lot of people are asking. Am I going to show my full team? Yeah, I think once we get the leaks, I will finalize on my team and we'll be there. Yeah, 100%. Salah, thank you so much for the super chat. Game Week 6 wildcard. Flecken, Gabriel, Trent, Aina, Mbumo, Saka, Semenyo, Rogers, DCL, Watkins, Holland. Sub, sell, Savio. I mean, I wouldn't sub Savio. I'd play Savio over Rogers, even though the fixtures are a little bit different. I think that when I look at your team, fine, Colwood, Mikalenko, like Colwood and Mikalenko are nice, but then I also feel like, are you really going to play all these players? Why not just go for a 4.0 defender in your situation? Because Gabriel and Trent can be played every week. So are you telling me that you're rotating between Aina, Colwell, Mikalenko? Why not maybe just consider actually saving a little bit of money and see if you can actually upgrade in another position? Because I can kind of see that you've gotten Flecken and Cells. I'm not sure if I love Flecken and Cells as a goalkeeping partnership. I still think that Flecken Verbruggen long term is actually really good. And when I speak about long term, I'm talking about game week 14 plus. So it's a long time away, but if you're going to rotate goalkeepers anyways, so why not? I mean, Newcastle team is weak in my opinion, just because of Isak being out as well. Like, I think that's just significant in some aspects, like hold up, etc. Sanchez also good. And then also threat, right? So when I talk about wanting to go city defense, that's quite there. Sanchez Flecken is actually not too bad. I agree, if that's what you're saying. Sanchez by himself is good too. To be fair, there's a lot of good 4.5s. Is Raya out? I'm not sure. Apparently, Andy said that someone was seen at the hotel. But Saleh, I think the key thing is that your team is strong, right? It's just that consider whether you actually want to be playing Savio on the bench this week, I suppose, if you actually get to play him versus Newcastle. Because Newcastle, in my opinion, are still a pretty weak team. Robertson's a good choice. I think he's okay. But I still think that I like Saliba, I like Guardiola, I like Gabriel more on a game week like this. You can't afford my team. Is it worth replacing Palmer or Diaz and then getting Jackson up for? I mean, you can definitely do that, yeah. Do you think Madison is being overlooked? Yes and no. I think I'd rather have Son over Madison. If you wanted me to tell you my ideal Spurs triple up later down the line, I'm gonna go Madison, Son, and I'm gonna go Son, Solanke, and Porro. I don't think I'd really go Madison. Why Bruno? I don't have Bruno on my team yet, but he's the reality with Bruno is I still think that he can produce points, and that's pretty much it. Just looking at his underlying numbers, the fact that he's on pens. Fantasy Football Hub has Wood as a much superior pick than DCL. I think that's fair. I think the markets generally have a similar sort of sentiment to that, and I think that's okay. I'm just sort of betting that DCL has better minutes, and that this run of games specifically is good for DCL. But I don't think there's too much really between Wood and DCL. So I think, for example, Rob T has shared his projected goal scorers this week, right? So this is a really good fixture for let's say Wood, right? So Wood has 0.5 projected goals and DCL has 0.43. So you can kind of tell that it's not too dissimilar, I would say, between DCL and Wood. So yeah, am I sort of betting that DCL is going to outperform Wood? In a sense, yes. Not this game week specifically, but just over the run of games. Sorry, this is the wrong Wood. But so I'm talking about basically, okay, if he plays Chelsea, then I'd take DCL there. Obviously, the other fixtures are fantastic for Wood anyways. But to be fair, Calvert-Lewin has his sort of equal run of good fixtures. So yeah, I mean, I'd prefer Newcastle. And then the run of games here is also just really good. You get to play Ipswich and Southampton. So I think it's nice that both Wood and DCL, I think they're actually very close as picks. And it's not too different, really. Evan Nilsson actually has extremely high goal scoring odds this week, but of course it makes sense because he's playing for Southampton at home. But yeah, this time round, I've decided to sort of move the captaincy to Haaland, but I think I'll need to make those moves later down the line. Salah says McNeil / Savio is rotating option for Semenyo in 8-10. I think that's fine. I've seen McNeil is, I mean, like an Everton player is good rotation for Semenyo anyways. And arguably the same as maybe like a Nottingham Forest player, right? Because Nottingham Forest, you can say, Nottingham Forest is a better team than Everton. Yeah, but are they a better team on offense? I don't think so necessarily. I missed a lot of super chats. Yeah, I'll go back to them right now. And thanks for noticing. Nicola, Dunn Robertson plus McNeil to Savio plus Porro and Wildcard. I actually quite like that, right? Because Savio, if we can get a league that Savio starts, I think that's ideal. And as far as Porro, he's a pretty good long-term pick. So fine. This is not a great game week for Porro. Maybe not the next one as well. But then game week 8 onwards, Spurs have just a supremely good run of games and Porro makes a lot of sense. So I think both ways that you've gone about it are fine. Dan Taylor says Caldwell or Lewis. I think Lewis, if he's predicted, if he's leaked to start today, I'd go Lewis. Otherwise, go Caldwell. Monks, Rico and Guardiola or Rico and Trent. I think I'd rather Rico and Trent, I believe. If it really was the option for you and you actually had that money in the bank, then go for Trent. Wood and DCL. Look, personally, I'm going with DCL because I just think that he plays better minutes. I recognize that Wood's a better player. I recognize that Wood might play for a slightly better team, but we have to think about Nottingham Forest is a much better team than Everton right now, particularly on defense, not necessarily on attack. Who's better for the next 3 games, DCL or Vardy? I think DCL, just because Vardy has, doesn't he have, what's the tough fixture that Vardy has this week? Yeah, of course, Arsenal. Sorry, what am I talking about? Yeah. Member for 1 month. Thank you so much. Fahad as well, member for 5 months. Who is better for the next 3 games, DCL or Vardy? I think I did answer that actually. And then Ponchan, right? I think that's what it was. Thank you. Sorry, literally just kind of forgot. Because I don't read Japanese. But hope you're doing well. Why don't you put your players until later? What do you mean by that? Sorry. Raya won't start according to Twitter sources. I think that's the sentiment. But we'll see. Why is Turner 12% owned? I think people just remember him from last season. I can't imagine if there's any reason for that. For me, Dunk is more of a long-term pick. But going back to your question, Mo, you said you went Dunk as your 4th. You're considering Ait-Nouri and Kirkes. I think that's fine. Keep in mind, though, of course, Ait-Nouri, it's like you're conceding so many goals and he's not playing within the offensive front 3, so I don't really like Ait-Nouri. For Kirkes, I mean, there's some validity there, but he's not always permanently nailed either, right? Mazraoui is, I'm not sure Mazraoui is a perfect long-term pick because, of course, there are some consequences to him maybe losing out minutes, maybe eventually down the line to, let's say, Malacia or Shaw. J-Pops, thank you for your super chat. You probably would have gloated if benching Haaland worked out, so I have to admit it didn't. No regrets. You're still right. Roger's not scored him. I did say play Haaland, though. I just think it made sense, right? But obviously, look, we all had blanks in our team, so it's fine. Why not Saliba and Gabriel together? I'm definitely considering Saliba and Gabriel. I just haven't locked in yet because obviously I can still go for Havertz. But yeah, I think it's very likely that I actually do go for Saliba, 100%. Has anybody told you look crazy similar to Lies Buzudi? Are you North African? I'm not North African. So Dimitri's bench DCL or Rogers, plus is Raya not starting? I'd bench Rogers. I would start. I mean, Raya, I don't know. I don't think we have enough good conclusive sources to say that Raya is going to do well or rather start. So yeah, I really don't know. Like yesterday, apparently the news was that Raya wasn't at the hotel. Today, apparently, I think Let's Talk FPL said that Raya was seen at the hotel, which kind of gives me a bit of pause. I think Liverpool will play with Jota as well this week. And maybe Allison will be back. But I don't really have any actual leaks today, unfortunately. So if I don't have leaks, I might have to swerve Lewis. Let's Talk FPL has tweeted that apparently Raya has been spotted at the hotel, but he has no way to confirm that. And apparently there's apparently a video that he hasn't seen. I'll just retweet that for visibility, but all right, super chat, sorry. Tamer, thank you so much for the super chat. Leon, hope you're doing well. Are you not streaming right now, Leon, or... And Tamer, thank you for the super chat. But do you have a message, Tamer, actually, that you wanna share? Thanks a lot, though. Thoughts on Timber at 5.5? Look, Timber's an interesting one because I know that he was struggling a little bit with the last game, but he was in training and he did miss the EFL Cup match. So I do think that Timber is someone that we can consider. But then you also have to think that if you go for someone like Timber, then you're kind of locking in a move towards Pedro Porro, I feel. I mean, we could get away with Timber. We could get away with Timber. That's true. Could I get away with Timber? I do like Timber, but I think you kind of have to have a plan out for Timber, and then obviously it's a little bit risky, right? It is a little bit risky, 100%. Bench Madueke, Konsa, Lewis, or Welbeck. I mean, Madueke probably starts. I'd probably bench Welbeck. I mean, I would bench Lewis personally, until we get a confirmation that he starts, and then if he does start, then I'd bench Welbeck. I think Calafiori is definitely ready to start this game week, but the question is going to be whether Timber starts ahead of Calafiori, which is a separate question. Callum, thank you for the super chat as well. 1,400 of you guys in the chat. If you guys could like the stream, subscribe, that would be really, really helpful for the growth of the channel. Thank you guys so much for being here. Really appreciate it. Fran, thoughts on Foden if he's starting? I mean, Foden's always going to be a great pick, and I'll definitely keep my mind open to a Foden start. The thing is, Foden did play 90 minutes in the cup, right? Which is a little bit concerning in terms of thinking about what his minutes would be like for this game week. I know that KDB's out, so realistically, how many people can they actually play in the interior positions? But, I mean, as I said, Foden played 90. I know Rico played 90. I know Grealish played 90. And I do think that they were sort of resting Savio and Guardiola, right? So those players I feel like will play. Walker and Stones did play in the cup as well. Not saying that everyone who played in the cup is not going to play. Like, I think, look, I just mentioned Rico, Lewis, Stones, and Walker. Like, realistically, 1 out of 3 of those players will play. Majid, I'm not freeing myself to answer questions. I have to... Look, I'm waiting for leaks, basically. Stavio, I think, is a great punt. 100%. Chisel Planet, thank you so much for gifting the memberships. Let's see who got them. Zoltar, Monks, a very frequent super chatter. Hope, Rub P, and Gabriel Express. I've gotten some FPL Fran membership, so thank you so much, Chisel Planet, and feel free to direct your thanks to him. On a wild card, Rogers or Smith Rowe? Rogers for sure. Larav says, how valid is leaked FPL as a source? I don't think it's a valid source. I don't think so. I can't remember a leaked FPL. Hanny says, hello, Fran. If I pick Flecken instead of Raya, is it viable to lose TAA to get Saliba, Gabriel, Rico, Porro? I think that's perfectly fine. I know letting go of Trent is tough, and obviously this match is even better for Trent now, but that's where I'm at. Is this my final team with 10 people grayed out? No, of course not. This is not my final team. I don't have a squad right now, I would say. NDI is a cheaper option for... I think I would rather go Dwight McNeil just because of set pieces and things like that. I know NDI is probably a better player, but that doesn't really translate to FPL the same way, if that makes sense. Dallo is in a good opinion. I think Dallo is a good option for sure. And I think he competes quite well with, let's say, that Porro spot. Your thoughts on Vardy? Has a lot of good fixtures coming up. Yeah, I mean, Vardy's a good pick too, but it's this week specifically that's quite tough for Vardy, right? Final team going to have Bruno, potentially. Palmer's definitely worth taking upon on the wild card. My captain will be on Haaland. What about Bowen? Bowen makes a lot of sense. In the meantime, actually, let me sort out my draft teams. I just want to make sure they're all good. Okay, so this team seems fine. I mean, Darwin's benched, but what can I do if Darwin's benched? This team's just terrible, so... But for the most part, it is fine. Okay. All right, back to FPL. Callum says Diaz or Mbumo for Murphy or Solanke or Havertz for JP. I would go Mbumo for sure. As far as Solanke or Havertz for João Pedro, I would go with Havertz if you can actually afford the sort of short-term punt. I will definitely reveal my final team before the deadline. This isn't some sort of publicity stunt. I will show you my team when we get some leaks. So I'll be here showing you my team. Callum, yeah, I think I've answered that question. Drupad says, if you had to choose 3 along the following, who would you keep this game week? Gabriel, Porro, Lewis, Mikolenko, Robinson. I'd bin Robinson, and then I'd actually choose 3 out of 4 between the rest of them. Now, if you actually can afford it, I'd go Gabriel, Porro, Lewis. But obviously, if you want to save a little bit of money, that 0.3, 0.4 could be quite useful between Mikolenko and Lewis. So I'd probably keep Gabriel, Porro. And then you choose between Lewis and Mikolenko. I think one of the tough things about Arsenal too is that they will be playing PSG. So I think the concern about someone like Timber, right, is what happens if Arsenal play Timber, then Timber? Will they play Timber 3 times in a game week? It seems a little bit doubtful, right? Or are they going to do something like, will White play one of those games? Because if White comes back, that's really just Timber versus Calafiori, and it's a bit doubtful, I think, to guarantee 2 Timber starts. So yeah, I think it is a tough situation. Other super chats. So let's see. Tamar says, I don't wildcard. You miss price rises. You want to have 2 Arsenal defenders. You want to buy Saliba instead of Porro, but need to free 0.1. Eze to Semenyo to free 0.1. You have João Pedro, Rodgers. I think if you go Semenyo, that's fine, because hopefully João Pedro will be back to rotate for the tough games that Semenyo has. So yeah, I can kind of agree to what you're saying. I will say though that if you go Saliba now, it might be the case that in 2 weeks' time, when Porro has good fixtures from Game Week 8, that you might actually want to move back to Porro. So maybe you can also consider that, okay, I missed out on the short-term opportunity of going for Saliba, but actually I have Porro and my team is a bit stronger for the long term. So you want to consider that as well. Rest of your team looks good though. Like Salah is a great captain this week as well. Jay Wavy says, thoughts on Fleck and Guardiola, Gabriel, Robertson, Lewis defense? I think that's a very, very strong defense. You're thinking of getting rid of Lewis and Robertson if you change your mind on Havertz. I think it's fine to do that as well. Because one thing about Robertson is you can argue if Lewis starts, do you really need to have Robertson in the team potentially? Maybe you could just end up going on Havertz, and I agree with that. One of the issues, yeah, but the thing about Timber and Calafiori both starting is that what happens if White is back, right? So are you telling me that Timber is going to play 3 matches in a row? That's the issue I have. Team is definitely not finished. I'm actually just waiting for leaks. Thoughts on Raya's playing? I have no confirmation that Raya's playing, to be honest. No confirmation at all. But yeah, I mean, if you don't trust Arteta, then of course he has a huge history of lying. So you could just trust the fact that maybe he lies and he was lying. But I really doubt it. Semenyo or Gusto on a 1 game week punt? I would go Semenyo, Henry. I will definitely reveal my team in time, Luna. That's a guarantee. 30 minutes to go, but yeah, there's still no sort of Rico Lewis leaks. Haaland, Jackson, Havertz, and Mbumo Saka, Madison, Rogers. I think that's a strong team. Amen. If Savio plays, will he be in my team? Probably. Fabrizio Romano tweeted that Raya is not playing. What? What are you talking about here? I'm going to check just to get baited. Yep, I got baited. Nice. That is good bait, though, I will say. It is good bait. Tough crowd. Am I set on removing Trent? Not necessarily, no. Why is everyone giving Smith Rowe the cold shoulder? Probably because his run of fixtures is much worse than it was between game weeks 1 to 5, for example. So that's pretty much what I think. Is Salah to Diaz and Pedro up to Havertz? I don't know if that's really worth it, because I would generally consider a Salah captaincy this week. Help me, Fran. Jota to... I mean, Jota might start today, right? So what's the concern with Jota? Is Jackson a good shout? I think so, but you do have to worry about the minutes, right? Because the reality is Nkunku will compete with him for those minutes. So yeah, that's the issue, I suppose. Why Dunk? It's just more for the long term, right? Because if I go for nailed defenders, then I only really need Dunk for game week 9 to rotate, and then actually after that, I'm not really too worried. Victor says, which players are you considering? Anyone that's off the watch list since Thursday? I don't think there's anyone off the watch list. Nothing has really changed in terms of information to make me like not consider certain players. So I'm still pretty much at similar-ish teams. I think what's given me some considerations is that Son maybe, you know, not being fully fit is why I'm sort of thinking about going for Solanke over Havertz. That would be the big change in my sort of thinking, I would say. I will definitely share my team. I will definitely share my team before the deadline. I mean, if you guys really want my current team, I suppose I can just kind of walk you through the different teams that I have. There are a lot of different teams, of course. So do keep that in mind. Don't show, everyone's just going to copy. So I'd say it's Flecken. I'm just gonna show you what I'm thinking about, right? Obviously, there are 4 City players, so don't get too upset. But so the issue that I'm sort of dealing with right now is I do ideally want to have 3 City players in my draft, and I do want to have double Arsenal. So double Arsenal right now is probably going to be Gabriel and Saliba. And then the question is just going to be what I do with Savio, Palmer, and arguably also Bruno, right? We all know Bruno has been on my mind. So, yeah, I mean, if Rico Lewis isn't playing, then I just simply go for, I think, Leaf Davis here. And then this is my team. Yeah, this is my Savio team. If Rico Lewis does play, that would change the situation a little bit. So I would do this, and I'd probably drop Savio. And I probably would drop Palmer as well. But there's obviously chances that I just simply go for something like... So this is what I would say is going to be my Rico Lewis draft, right? So Solanke, Calvert-Lewin, Holland, and then Semenyo rotating with Calvert-Lewin, Bruno in the team, and then Guardiola and Lewis as my sort of defenders. One of them gets benched this week. So as you can see, I kind of have a Savio draft and then a Lewis draft basically. Why no Trent? I mean Trent's on my mind as well. There is a Trent draft that I have. If I go Trent, then I would do this. I would just go Dibbling. And I would go Trent. Yeah, this is how I would go Trent. But I am waiting for leaks. Conrad Lamb says, hi mate, on wildcard, Colwell/Jackson or Lewis/Solanke? I mean, look, I really don't think that you need to set your draft because of Lewis, because without him starting this week, it's kind of like less value as well. And who knows, he might even drop. So I think Colwell... is it Colwell plus Solanke or Lewis plus Jackson? Because I'm not really sure how the question works in that sense. I guess I'd say Colwell plus Solanke is safer. So I would answer that. But yeah, like this would be my Trent draft. I don't really like not having Guardiola. So basically, Guardiola versus Trent is one of the biggest considerations in my mind. I'm not saying Guardiola's comparable to Trent, but clearly there's a 1 million price difference, and that's going to have an impact, right? So, yeah. What are you going to do if we get no leaks in regards to Lewis? I'll probably go towards my Savio draft, if I'm being honest. You're a QPR fan, and after seeing Nketiah score against us up close and personal, I can confirm he's the best in the world. Very nice. Can you talk about Ederson? I mean, Ederson's obviously fantastic too, but I tentatively like to just spend 4.5 on my goalkeeper and then actually spending most of the money in the outfield positions. What am I going to do? Oh, sorry, I'll answer that question. Thoughts on Havertz captain? I'd probably still go for the likes of Haaland, Salah, Saka first, but Havertz is perfectly fine. Not dropping Bruno's diabolical. I disagree with you. I mean, if you told me for the rest of the season Bruno's just going to drop 2 and 3 pointers, like, it's just flat out wrong. So he's eventually going to get points. But if you're telling me that he's only get 2 to 3 points for the rest of the season, then, you know, that's a pretty big bet as well. Stratzy, hey Fran, 2 questions. Am I mad for choosing Ezio over Diaz? I don't think so, no. 2, to start bench Porro or Lewis? I would start Lewis. I would still start Lewis because I think it's not a great Porro fixture. Your captain is Haaland. Yeah, it is Haaland. Where's Kai? I have sort of switched off of Kai because I kind of prefer Trent Cesar. But yeah. Part of the reason why I kind of want to go for my Palmer draft is because I can also just simply move towards Son in Game Week 8. Thoughts on João Pedro, FPL Fran? You can kind of go for him, but he might drop in price, right? So that's kind of an issue. Andy's close to drafting Bruno. Okay. Palmer to Saka -4, I don't think is worth it at all. Am I not tempted by Havertz? Of course I'm tempted by Havertz. Of course I'm tempted by Havertz. I mean, if I really wanted to go Havertz, I think I'd do this. Yeah. I think I'd consider something like this. Just because with this sort of, actually, sorry, I would go Porro in this case. It's my bad. But I can't really afford it. Actually, oh, I forgot Havertz actually rose in price. That's what it was. Oh god. But yeah, that Havertz price rise sort of killed this draft structure. Unfortunately. Raya spotted? Are you serious? Are you just referring to Andy's tweet? There's a video. Okay. Let me have a look for this video. Yeah, he's in the video. He's in the video. He is in the video. Oh, I hate it here. Okay. That's so annoying. I still don't know. I mean, he's not guaranteed to start, right? Like, I don't think he was like in the hospital, basically. Yeah, I don't think I'm going Raya. Guardiola plus Bruno or Trent Alexander-Arnold plus Eze. I'd probably go Guardiola plus Bruno in my case. All right, so if I'm to shift my drafts around another time. You know, Dallow's actually not a bad pick in terms of like, he basically fulfills the same function as Porro, right? So if you look at Dallow's run of games here between 8 and 13, arguably he's like a cheaper Porro because it's like, basically the good run of games for Tottenham is also that run of games like 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, fine, a Man City game you can't play him, but then 13 plus is actually really strong. So Henrik, thank you so much for the super chat as well. But yeah, I think if you want to save money on someone who's going to be a future good long-term pick, I do think Dallow's quite nice. I know some people absolutely hate United. I'm not a United fan, but either way, it doesn't really change my mind. I mean, I really don't know if Raya's going to play. I know he was spotted, but still. Foden? Yeah, I've seen the video with Freddie with Raya there. Henrik super chat was, what do you think about Konate, Saka, Palmer, Havertz? I think that's fine, right? Because obviously you're just taking a bit of a risk that Konate continues starting, and I think the risk isn't really that he's like worse than Kwanzaa. It's just the risk that, you know, he's a little bit injury prone, that sort of thing. So yeah, I think totally fine. By the way, if you guys could subscribe, I think we're pretty close to 42,000 subscribers. So if 2,117 of you guys are all subscribed, fine. But if not, I'd absolutely love it if you guys could subscribe and also like the video and the stream. Some said he was limping. Okay, that's just BS as usual. But we have no clue, right? We have no clue. Which is not lovely. Which is not lovely. One of the issues with going double Arsenal defense too is that it kind of makes me feel like I have to pick between Guardiola and Trent, if that makes sense. So I think it's very close between all these options. Yeah. You like the Palmer draft I did the most? Yeah, I saw the video of Raya. We have no news on Lewis. The website will crash soon. It is a good point, actually. It is a good point. I need to sort of decide. Okay, let's just do a poll. Actually, would you guys go Trent or? Let's just do some polls. Is my team locked? No, it isn't. I'm waiting for potential Man City leaks, if we do have any. Raya is limping a bit. Lewis is starting. Who confirmed it? Who confirmed Lewis is starting? What's going on? Lewis starts? All right, we have to go on my Lewis draft. I mean, you're missing a player, Fran. I am indeed. Okay, I think if Lewis starts... Well, my friends, you know what we're going to do. On to the Lewis draft we go. The Super Galaxy Lewis draft. Is that what we're cooking up here? Captain update, it's definitely Holland. I don't know. I just said that chat said that there was a Lewis start, but then I personally can't see the leak. DM, Philip? I appreciate that. Okay. Chat is probably the least reliable source. Pablo, okay, appreciate it. Let's 10 minutes, Fran. All right, let's lock in. Let's get locking. I'm trying to think now though. If Lewis and Guardiola start, can I just drop Saliba? I think I could. I don't really want to drop Semenyo though, which is annoying. But I'll have to think about it. Is Foden starting? I have no idea. What did you say, Philip? I still can't see any news about... Oh well. The site crashed? Alright, you're trolling, Okay. Let's just lock in a team. Bruno. Solanke. Why Bruno? I still have confidence in him as a pick. I know you might not, but... If I lock in, I lose a Semenyo price rise, but that's that. That's the wild card. I kind of want to play Rogers this week, so that's why I kind of want to go for dibbling, because I feel like if I go for dibbling, right, then I'm benching Rogers and Semenyo is going to play. But if I don't value Semenyo that much, and I probably value someone like Trent more, then I would do that. Protagonist, I could have a look at your team, yeah. Although I do need to lock in about my team. think your team's perfectly fine, mate. Obviously Gueki is not ideal, but it's a very strong team. And Dean, you know what the situations are with Dean as well. So I think going forwards, yeah, just needs a little bit of tweaking in terms of the forwards, but it's actually a strong team. So I wouldn't be concerned. That's a strong team. What if I'm trying to think, if I went for Lewis and I knew he started today, is there a way that I could go Porro and then I don't play Trent, but then I have Palmer in my team over Bruno? Is that better? Lewis is starting? Who's confirmed it? Woo-hoo-hoo! Tony's confirmed it. All right, let's go. Let's cook. Let's cook. Oof. If I go Porro, right? Can I do it? Can I do it? No, I can't do Palmer. All right, it's fine. It's over. The dream's over. Let's go Trent. And my main man, Bruno. How do you type Bruno in English? All right, midfielders. One of the best players in the game, Bruno. Trent Arnold. Oh my god. Literally like fat fingering everything. Not ideal, but okay. I think that's the team. My squadra. All right, we've locked in. Oh my god, why do I still have... Okay, holy. I saw Raya for a second. All right, we need to fix the team. Guardiol. Okay, we need Saka to play over Dibbling. What is going on? Vice captain. I think that's probably the team. Becker playing or nah? I don't think Becker is playing. You know what, actually? You know what? If I do this... I can't go Raya though, can I? I can't go Raya. No, I can't go Raya. I think I'm just going without Saliba. Potentially. The site is crashing slowly. Okay. Tense times here, tense times. In the FPL Fran base camp. You could do Konate and get Palmer, it's true, but I don't really want Konate. Rogers, Diaz, I'd probably go Diaz. Solanke or Rogers, I'd go Solanke. One free transfer to Robinson to Lewis, I think that's worth it. I don't think you should wildcard now, it's too late. In terms of catching price rises, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So no double Arsenal. Bit of a shame. I'm just trying to think late stage here, last 3 minutes. Can I squeeze Havertz into this absolute concoction of a draft? If I go Havertz. Oh, I need to go Saliba, don't I? Am I comfortable with this though? Man, I kind of want to go Porro. I really want to go Raya here, but I can't do it. Dude, that Havertz price rise, man. That actually kind of broke some of the ideas that I had. Frustrated. Thank you for the super chats though, and okay, how many seconds do I have left in my life? 2 minutes. I mean, I guess I could go Saliba, right? And then I could go Ederson. Why am I not starting Lewis? Personal preference. I do think it's between him and Guardiola, actually, but that is probably the one move I'll consider finally. Why Solanke over Jackson? I just prefer his minutes and long term. Yeah, I think fine. Lewis is a starter. But am I really benching Trent here? I mean, Guardiola. I guess I am. If I go Guardiola to Porro, can I go Kai Havertz? I can't. That's the problem. There's like 20 seconds left. I think I'm happy with this team. Dunk to Greaves? Nah, it's not worth it. This team's a little too flimsy anyways. 5 seconds. Alright, let's take a screenshot of this team. I'm happy with the team. I'm happy with the team. Because basically, the thing is, like, next week, for example, I'll have considerations of... Like, I'll have considerations of things like Rodgers to the bench, right? For, like, to the bench again. So, most weeks I can actually just play Guardiola. Which is fine with me. Let's take the old screenshot here. Should have put captain on Saka. Yeah, but honestly, I don't know. I just think that Newcastle have been so poor. It's already 11 a.m. Yeah, I know. Team's done. Team's done. That was stressful. What do you mean I scammed you, Greta? I'm confused. I don't think I scammed anyone. Good luck to everyone, by the way. Early kickoff fear made me move to Diaz captaincy. Nice. You need background music? I probably do. But I don't know. I think the background music is... It doesn't quite color how stressed I am. The app crashed, by the way. You can take on Rapper R... What? 5 free transfer used. Crash for 2 minutes to go. I mean, I hope the game's updated. I think my team was updated, though. Can I just get an answer for Mavridi's rotation? Yeah, I think he's definitely good. Is Pickford a better option than Flecken? I don't think so. FPL frantic. You hate my last decision. You was Raya Solanke and swapped last minute to Emerson Havertz. Emerson Havertz. Or Ederson. I think that's fine, mate. Take it easy. You might be an absolute idiot, but you went Raya. I think that's fine. Start Savio instead of Smith Rowe. That's... I don't know if Savio starts, to be honest. Fran, people just want to copy that is why they say you're scamming. I mean, you have posted like 3 different teams on Wildcard promos move out of TAA and Rodgers, and those following had to buy back and lost money. Yeah, but the thing is, I've never said that my wildcard drafts are final though. So why would you follow the moves if? And I've never asked people to copy like my changes in team. I've basically for this entire week I haven't changed my price rise grabbing team. You should always change your team on the deadline. So that's just how FPL works. How is my team more expensive than yours? What do you mean by that? Ain't no way someone's relying on. Yeah, the thing is, I've never given people teams to copy per day or per night. That's yeah. What's the most stressful deadline for you that you can remember? I think there was a deadline one time where the website was actually crashing. I remember 2 years ago when Haaland was like rumored to be benched. This was when team news and ticks got super popular, if you remember. So basically, Haaland was rumored to be benched, and it was like 10 minutes to go before the deadline, and everyone made moves around Haaland, and some crazy thing happened, I believe, and the website definitely did crash 2 minutes before the deadline. But what would happen, actually, I think for a lot of people, is that the mobile app was working, so everyone moved to the mobile app, and I just managed to make my moves. If you couldn't afford Trent, I would have just gone Saliba 100%. Havertz, Solanke, Holland, Dibbling, no bench headache. Yeah, that's a good team. Honey Singh, well done. You benched Rogers for Wood. I think that's a good move. Couldn't afford Trent, went Robertson. I think that's fine. Screenshot. What the team? What's the fun of copying someone else's team? Yeah, I mean, I don't tell anyone to copy my team. I mean, you can if you want to, but yeah, you should also know how to navigate FPL if you want to copy my team, I suppose. You can't remember probably because you started playing last season, but the amount of help you got from me is crazy. You finished top 500k last season. That's awesome. You bench Lewis and start Guardiola. That's fine. Suggestion: you could get a. I do have a timer actually. I just always forget to set it up. But yeah, I can set the timer up for next time for sure. Couldn't afford Trent. Went Porro. I think that's totally fine. That's actually a good move because, as I said, Porro is someone that we probably want to have in a few weeks' time. The nice thing about going for Trent though is that I removed the need to go out of Saliba. Bowen, I think, is a very good pick. If you didn't want to go Bruno, you wanted to save a bit more money, then I think Bowen actually made a lot of sense. He's a scam pick. I mean, he's 4.0, right? So it's not really a huge deal. Savinho is starting. Why? Is he actually? Is he actually starting? How do you know? How do you know Savinho's starting? Wait, did Harry wildcard in the end? Look, he gambled on Raya. Interesting. Very nice. you knew both were starting, Savio or Lewis, I'd probably go Savio, actually. Ryan not playing confirmed, I don't know. Why Bruno, I still think he's a good pick. Semenyo, good odds this week, absolutely good odds. But that's also why I felt like, if you look at my team, fine, I missed out on Semenyo this week, and that's a bit of a bummer, but ultimately I think I would have needed someone to rotate with him quite a fair bit. And just going for Dibbling is something that I'm okay with in the end. Jota starts, yeah, I think that was the prediction. Lewis and Guardiola starting. I think that's... Lewis was confirmed to start from our main man, Tony. DCL's made of glass. Yes. Although he actually played 2,100 minutes of football last season. The Trossard suspension was removed in the Carabao Cup, that's correct. So he served his suspension there, technically. On the scamming part, like, I'm over it, it's fine. I think what I like about this team is that ultimately I can always just change Lewis around, if that makes sense. Like, I can always move Lewis and Guardiola into a starting four, right? So yeah. The City Matchday Live is live. But we'll get the news soon. I'll probably stay up for it. Lewis to 4.0 gets you Kai. Yeah, but I don't care about Kai that much, right? Because Kai probably would have just been a future transfer to Solanke. And then also, if Son's out, then maybe Solanke gets pen share, things like that, which I like. What was the reason for starting Lewis or Guardiola? I just think that Lewis, when he's actually playing, occupies like ridiculous positions on the pitch. So I do like Lewis from that perspective. My weekend plans, probably going to be having lunch with a friend of mine and then watching all the football. Have you tried Colombian Yaku? I don't think I have. Do you think Savinho's starting? I'm not sure. Would you say Wood is better than Pick than DCL? I think long term, yes, but maybe in the short term, not necessarily. Is Raya starting? I have no idea, but it seems like he could very well start. Also, I think that the chances that they play a 16-year-old, I just didn't want to take the chance though, right, on a wild card. So yeah. All right, can't just Neto start this game week? Yeah, it's possible. 1.4k and 382k like is legit. Either they forgot to like or they just came to copy the team. Well, they could have done. You getting FC25? I do have FC25. I'm Spanish. Yeah, that's correct. I don't know if you hear this enough. Thank you, Adams. I really appreciate that. Good luck to you as well. Foden benched as we expected. Guys, where are you guys getting this news before 11:15? You guys have more sources than me. All right, let's just wait. Let's just wait 45 seconds, see what the Man City lineup is. If Savinho starts, I'm sad. Rico Lewis. Let's just quickly flick into the tweet. Manchester City. I don't really have a proper Ultimate Team yet. Where's the team? Rico Lewis. Savio's benched. Savio's benched. Foden benched as well. Oof. Okay. Just ITK. Mavridi's a good pick, I think, for sure. You have an intuition that Guardiola and Lewis will play in Rodri's absence. I mean, we've already seen Rodri's absence at the start of the season, right? Who do you think is the best player in the world? I don't know. You might have to give it to Haaland, to be honest, with how good he's playing. But, you know, my favorite players right now is probably Vinny. Valverde. Could Gundo become a good pick? I don't think so, right? Because Gundo very likely will play deeper at times. So, okay, fine. Kovacic is playing, so Gundo plays offensively today, and he's in the pockets. But I still think that his minutes might be good, but the value might not be there. Why, Vinny? Want a Lewis goal or assist? Yeah, why not? If Lewis gets 45 minutes up, I might cry. What's chat saying? Palmer is better than Vinny? Okay, fair enough. Lewis injured at 59 minutes. Why are you doing this to me? Calvert-Lewin blank incoming. Fine, he can blank. Vinny couldn't tie Anthony's shoelaces. Yeah, because he shouldn't be. As a Barcelona fan, you cannot dislike Fede as such a pure soul. I mean, I actually quite like a lot of Barca players. A lot of them are Spanish. Feeling encouraged by the City XI for the next few weeks as a Lewis owner. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to playing 4-4 something. What's the story with the FPL badges? Do you mean like in terms of... Are you talking about like FPL Challenge, those badges? Thoughts on replacing Bruno Madison? Didn't have any interest in it. I might have considered Bowen potentially. But I think just Bruno is still a good long-term pick, and ultimately a lot of people have no faith in Bruno, and I do. So that's fine with me. Let me actually speak to Luke here. I'm actually quite curious. Wait, so Walker, Akanji, Diaz, Guardiola back 4. Kovacic holding. Bernardo right wingish. Grealish left wingish. Gundo Rice. Is that what it is? But how can it be Lewis inverting if Walker's playing? They have a back 4 without Lewis right now. This is Lewis central. I mean, I guess you can say that there's a pivot. It's not a box. It's not a box midfield. It's a diamond, right? So it's like, yeah. I think that's Lewis central. Yeah, but Walker can right center back. But are you telling me they're playing what three center backs, and then you're telling me Guardiola's playing advanced? But where's Grealish playing? If Grealish is purely a left winger in the system, right? 4-2-3-1. Yeah, I kind of agree with what you're saying. 4-2-3-1. It's kind of like a pivot of a pivot of Kovacic and Lewis. But the thing is, if you listen to what Pep says, it's not really a 4-2-3-1, right? Like there's someone at the base. That base player is Kovacic, and then Lewis will do multiple roles. So yeah, I agree. It's actually more of a 4-1-4-1. Yeah, what Jack says, I think, is sort of what it is. I mean, if Guardiola's advanced and Grealish is playing, then you know what? I've messed up in my life, I guess. There's no Isak as well, right? What's the Newcastle lineup? Let's have a look. By the way, how bad has Isak been as a pick for us? My God. I guess Tonali's playing good for them. You reckon it's a 5-4-1? Oh, okay. So you think that it's a 3-3-3-1? All right, you guys just making up formations now. Stop that. All right. I think that's it for the stream. Thank you guys so much for sticking around, by the way. Really appreciate it. It is Gordon central striker, obviously, in these situations. But yeah, I hope you guys do well. And that's it. I hope you guys take care. Have a good weekend. I need to be managing some other fantasy teams now. So my fan team, some of those teams need to be managed right now. Take care. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream. Sorry if I was stressed today. It's a wildcard week. I have basically 5 to 10 drafts in my mind, and that's life sometimes. Oh, this is also my channel's birthday today, apparently. That's cool. So we started this channel, is it 5 years ago? Maybe 4? All right. Cheers for the channel anniversary. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you guys being here. I'm just gonna manage some more fantasy teams now because that's how lame I am. But I hope you guys have a wonderful week. I hope Rico Lewis cooks, and maybe not Guardiola, but that's it. All right. Take care all.